Giannis Antetokounmpo had a quote recently that got a lot of attention. I just want to read out to you the quote. Do you have it in the back of your mind, like, what if this year doesn't go well? Yeah, if we don't win a championship, I might get traded. Yeah, this is the job we live. This is the world we're living in. It's everybody. Now, I do find this quote kind of suspicious and strange for Giannis to say this because he's acting like he's some regular role player when he says that he could possibly get traded if the Bucks don't win a championship in this upcoming year. I think that's really ridiculous because think about it this way. Giannis is a top three player, I would say, in this league. Just it's arguable that he could possibly be the best player in the league. It's really between him, Jokic, and you could say Doncic is up there too. Those guys are vying for it. I would throw Joel Embiid in that ring of players for the best player in the league, but just with his injuries, I'm just counting him out. But yeah, you could argue every year Giannis for the last few years has been the best player in the league. It's either him or Jokic. So why I'm bringing this up is because no team will ever trade a young MVP caliber player, especially when he's in his prime. Giannis is still in his prime. I think Giannis is like 29. I could be mistaken. I'm just looking up his age right now. So he was born in December of 1994. So he'll turn 30 in a few months, but he's still young. Like, turning 30, he probably has a good 4 to 5 years left playing at a high level, at least 4 to 5 years. So his prime is not fully finished yet. So you don't trade a guy when he's like in the middle of his prime just for not winning, especially when he's an MVP caliber player, possibly the best player in the league. No team ever does that in NBA history. The only time you trade a player like that is if you're cheap and you don't want to pay him the money. But in this situation, the Bucks have paid Giannis what he wanted. He got the max deal, so it's not even a money thing. It makes no sense to why the Bucks would ever trade him, even if they fail to win a championship this year, because Giannis is a marquee player. He draws attention. It's like what Stephen A said. He's box office, especially for the Milwaukee fans. He can sell out their arena. It would make absolutely zero sense for them to trade him. He also increases the value of the Milwaukee Bucks franchise just by being there. So I don't see any reason to why the Bucks would want to trade him. That would be absolutely ridiculous. And I think even Giannis is smart enough to see how much power and clout he has, that he determines where he goes, where he stays. So I don't think even he really believes that they could trade him without him wanting to get traded. That's why I thought it was weird for him to say this, unless he's being passive aggressive about this and he's trying to hint to the Bucks that, hey, if we don't win this year, I want to be traded. I want out. I don't want to be around here anymore. Excuse me. But I could see Giannis trying to plot an exit strategy in this situation simply because the Bucks are not really a young team when you look at their core. I'm just talking about their core. Chris Middleton just turned 33. Dame just turned 34. And Brook Lopez is really old now. I think he's 36 or 37. Yeah, he's 36 years old. I just looked that up right here. So those are like their key guys. They're all just above the age of 30. And the youngest guy who's a key piece of their team, Bobby Portis, is 29. He's like the only guy who's an important part of their core that's young. So all those guys are old pretty much. And I think Giannis kind of sees the writing on the wall that there's not much time left to win with these guys. They're going to expire pretty soon, like Ron Milk. I think he knows the deal, and he's plotting his exit strategy right now. And I think he might not feel confident that they can win a title this year with what they have. So he's just plotting the strategy right now in case it doesn't work out for him. But to be honest, he's equally at fault for their failure the last few years. This man has been injured twice, before the playoffs and during the playoffs. That's resulted in them losing prematurely in the first round. So yes, he has to look himself in the mirror. He has to figure out what he's not doing right to preserve his body from getting hurt. I know he's in great shape, but it's really also on him, just whether it's unfair or fair, that he's part of the reason why they don't succeed. But I think it's very unfortunate that he could be plotting an exit strategy because he is really, really a great player. Top three, if not the best in the league. You can argue it that wherever he goes, he's going to have a seismic impact for the whole entire league. Whatever conference he goes, it's going to impact it. But if he forces his way out, it's going to get a lot of attention next summer. You can see a blockbuster trade that could shift the landscape of the NBA, kind of like when Durant signed as a free agent with the Warriors. I think that's how big of an impact he'll have wherever he tries to force himself out to go to. That's the way I look at it. But I think if you're a Bucks fan right now, you have to be worried and scared if Giannis will be a Buck in the next few years because he has the power to force a trade. And the reality of the NBA is when a superstar forces a trade, they always get what they want. They always get traded. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this.